Dun, 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 dun.
I sometimes see comments on videos from time to time that refer to specific projects that, people out there, maybe you, or somebody else, might be listening to this, have requested me to look at and consider. And there's been, quite a number of these, but I've never seen the number of comments specifically aimed at me watching the trailers for The Lady of Heaven. This seems to be, I don't know what the interest level of this is, but there's been a lot of comments in, the lower areas of many of my trailer reactions, actually, specifically for this film. And hopefully it's got potential. I've seen that there's a lot of other reactions that have been circulating on YouTube. So many other people maybe have gotten their request to look at this, or just from a genuine point of interest. I happen to like history movies, especially points of history that might not be as well known to me. And this is certainly one that I would say fits that bill. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read two synopses for this, because you might be like, what's The Lady of Heaven? I've never heard of it. I think both synopses are vital. They give a good picture in terms of what you can expect. But it's an action drama history movie. I don't know what the release date to it is. December 10th. Well, we'll see what the overall reception is. I have to say, is it coming out in the U.S.? Yeah, it says on IMDb it's a limited release, but it released on December 10th. And that's it for a release. Okay. Well, we'll see what the reception is. It's coming out at like a pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Complex time. Because, how many movies are coming out this Christmas season that other people are raving about? Spider-Man No Way Home, The Matrix, The King's Man, Nightmare Alley, and, The Lady of Heaven's going to be somewhere in there as a limited release, but we'll see what the potential is. I'm going to look at two trailers for it, one per video. But let's start from a synopsis perspective. Again, as I said, I'm going to read two. It's got a really good rating, by the way, on IMDb at like 9.4 stars from 7.5 thousand people at this present moment on December 21st. So that's, I'm looking at this, I guess, 11 days late. Apologies for that. But that's quite a rating. Let's go ahead and take a look, though, and see what the synopsis says. This is according to IMDb, so this will give you a little bit of a brush up. Maybe like me, going into this, you didn't know what this film was about. Two stories separated by 1,400 years. After losing his mother in the midst of a war-torn country, an Iraqi child learns the importance of and power of patience by discovering the historical story of Lady Fatima and her suffering. So that's the first synopsis, and the second one is also from IMDb. The heat-wrenching journey of Lady Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad. Separated by 1,400 years, an Iraqi child in the midst of a war-torn country learns the importance and power of patience. So again, kind of similar in terms of the way the synopses are indicated, but the reason I read both is because one's more... one gives a couple more details to the plot, and then the other one's more detailing the history of this, exposing it to me. Because, I don't come from the background of knowledge in terms of, like, Middle Eastern history or history relating to, Islam or the Muslim faith. And I love opportunities to learn. I think it's kind of interesting for me, especially as a Christian. I come at it from a very different angle, right? But I do have an appreciation for maybe the history of other civilizations out there in terms of understanding different traditions and different historical events as they happen that perhaps are unknown stories. And in fact, the poster for this refers to The Lady of Heaven, or this movie, as the untold story. So obviously, again, this is maybe not something that most people know about, but I love opportunities to learn. Even if maybe, we'll see what conclusions I come to. Well, it's more so historical projects. It's not much like, it becomes more opinionated in nature. But I love the opportunity, again, to just have experiences opened up to me. And also, as a way for me to be able to see connection with other people in the world in ways that maybe I didn't even know, they open up an element of self-discovery, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at The Lady of Heaven from a trailer number 1 perspective. And as I said, we're going to look at 2 to give the best perspective, and they'll be in 2 separate videos. We're going to go ahead and watch this first, and I'll talk about it more in my condensed review segment following watching the video giver. I hope the people that have been asking me to look at this trailer appreciate the fact I'm looking at 2, by the way. I'm giving you 2 videos for this. Again, like I said, I have not gotten this many requests to look at a movie, so we'll see what I think. Okay, without further ado, here we go. We're going to watch the main trailer. Okay.
The world is in shock as a group of terrorists
pretty
have
heavy
taken
startup.
control of large areas of Syria and Iraq.
The world can be a cruel and dangerous place.
It's true.
Remember, even if you're afraid, be strong. Your loving mother, Fatima. Did
Did your mother ever tell you the story of the Lady of Heaven? She was
It's a
very
beautifully
special.
filmed project.
Daughter to the Prophet Muhammad.
A long
My
time
time
back.
is near. And afterwards, my lovely Fatima, you will face many trials.
The lighting in the position is beautiful, by the way. Look at that.
With my father no longer here to lead us. Evil is with those who will extinguish the light of truth.
You're gonna let a woman tell us what to do? We will burn her out!
Very well made movie. I'm interested to see where the studio
God will judge all of you.
is.
This world has become a breeding ground of violence. Shadow will be cast across many
I would definitely see this
generations to
fitting,
come.
like, they say limited release. Maybe this is like a Fathom Events type film. I'm sure you'll probably be able to find it like on a DVD soon, maybe. Because again, it's a limited, well, it's a limited release, but they're going to want to get this out there.
The greatest thing in this life and the hereafter
It's a
is the
beautiful
spreading of
movie.
peace in the world.
Lady Fatima's goodness inspired people to stand up, no matter what the cost. Her legacy lives on.
Even the logo is pretty. You know, it reminds me of, not necessarily making a comparison here, because I understand this is very different in terms of nature and point. I mean, I'm definitely excited to learn, even if I come from maybe a different religious background. I am fascinated to learn maybe about because I mean, you know, that's a point in history. You learn things, right? You experience. I mean, if you maybe you end up not necessarily in tandem as a result, you better understand, right? Different aspects of life and different positions and different worldviews, even if it's just ostensibly as an informational comparison, right? So the subtext of this movie, we'll see, you know, where it goes. I mean, it looks strong in terms of delivery as a narrative. I'm genuinely surprised. I mean, again, this is what was interesting to me. Like I said, I wasn't trying to make a direct comparison to this other than my past exposure to, especially lately, a lot of Christian films that had this performance level to them, and especially in the presentation. I mean, not just in the acting looks great, and the narrative is pretty strong. In fact, this reminded me, at some points, I could say Risen. Risen is, you know, it's historically based, right? And that's another, like, it's just from a different faith system, but it has a very similar quality in regard to the magnitude of the presentation. Maybe some other people would refer to the Nativity Story, right? Those different types of films. It's just the presentation level here really surprises me. And let me see. I need to find out what studio this is. Okay, so production companies, it says, I'm looking at IMDb. Crew Cat for catering and set management. Okay, that's obviously not going to play into the... Well, it's going to play in the backup overall of the movie, but like, well, it's definitely going to play in the final presentation. The catering company. Anyway, well, I guess set management kind of plays a part. But primarily Enlightened Kingdom, and IMDb credits Sark Studios as production services. I've never seen either company. And genuinely, you know, I would think of smaller companies, like by comparison to other production distribution outlets that I've seen. Well, maybe I won't name names. I don't want to be disparaging. But, you know, it's like, I watch their films sometimes, and they're just, maybe when studios get on their feet, you can clearly tell, like, they're trying to make, you know, baby steps, right, into getting somewhere. Because, you know, obviously it takes the baby steps, and then incrementally you grow in prestige and quality, right? It's learned. I've never heard of these production companies, and maybe they've been at this for a while, that this is sort of like, you know, we've built up to this moment. But the film is just, it's incredibly luminous for studios that I've never heard of before. I mean, the quality is there. It looks expensive in terms of, like, they really, you know, valued the production quality of the film. The lighting is gorgeous in this movie. And this is kind of what reminded me, what I was saying, another comparison to make, although again, it's a completely different faith system. In the narrative side of it, the lighting quality reminds me of a lot of some of the Christian films that I've seen. I mean, this is just, I love how they captured the rays in here. This is beautiful how they did it. Wow. Even like the battle sequences look great. But like the raven flying in, it's just, or I think it's a raven. Maybe it's a crow. I'm not exactly sure. It's a bird of some type. But it's so pretty, isn't it? And like, I'm just, in my experience, and even the CGI work, it seems, it's a gorgeous movie. I can certainly see why. Maybe the comments that were coming, my way, because I mean, there's been a lot of people looking at these trailers. Perhaps maybe the comments were, I don't. Maybe some people really like the film. Maybe some people were or maybe the company was kind of like, well, we can maybe get a couple more people looking at it for paying out a little more advertising money. Maybe in terms of commenters. I mean, I don't know, but I would certainly say maybe based on quality, that might be where a lot of the interest is coming from. This is a beautiful, and maybe with the narrative, beautiful film though. I'm definitely excited to watch another trailer for it. It's gorgeous, though. I mean, we'll see what, exploring the narrative. I'm excited to see the history perspective to better, to learn more. But I'm sure the presentation, everybody will just be in the theater like, oh my gosh. What are your guys' thoughts on the Lady of Heaven? Let me know down below. Don't forget all the good stuff. Like, subscribe, sharing that bell. Until we get to watch that ever trailer for it, or whatever we get to watch together next for the first time, I will see you then. But until that point, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Don't forget to live your fellow man. God bless and peace.